Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Quick Hitters with Rocco Million Live. Today, I'm going to quickly destroy the conspiracy theory of the Fed because it kills so much of our inspiration. It stops so much discussion, and it keeps us being counterproductive to progress. So I'm going to destroy this conspiracy theory of the Federal Reserve with the simple logic of our operational reality. Like always, this is pretty easy to do. So they try to say that the Federal Reserve is somehow a private institution, a private banking cartel, whatever. And the operational reality simply shows that that's just not the case. Congress wrote the Fed into existence by law with the mandate to the public purpose, specifically price stability and full employment. Okay, so this is not how private enterprise is structured. The Congress wrote the Fed into existence by law with a mandate to the public purpose, specifically price stability and full employment. Then the president of the United States handpicks the board of governors, and then Congress must confirm them. So again, this is not how private enterprise is formed. I'm sorry to say. The reality is the Fed is nonprofit too, transferring all profits back to Treasury every year. So how many private institutions do you know that are structured anything like this? Okay, now, I guarantee you won't be able to find one because that's just not how it works. So again, anybody can audit the Fed because they self-publish their own books and they can't cheat those books. They can't cook the books because sectoral balances don't lie and they always net to zero. All right, we know exactly how much government spends with their congressional spending bills. We know exactly how much the interest rate is. There's no way that the Fed can cook the books. Sectoral balances are accounting identity. It's scientific fact. Okay, and then lastly, the big one is Congress only delegated monetary policy onto the Federal Reserve, and that's simply just the interest rate. This is just the price of private credit. So no, we do not rent dollars from the Federal Reserve. All right, the Federal Reserve can't even make dollars. They can't make net dollars. Only Congress can with a spending bill, fiscal policy. Okay, so that's the deal. If Congress doesn't pass a spending bill, the Federal Reserve is powerless to make net dollars. All right, all the Federal Reserve can do is control the price of private credit. Monetary policy of the Federal Reserve is inferior to fiscal policy of Congress in every way. So yeah, we can end the Fed today. We can completely end the Fed. Congress can simply write them out of existence. All right, that's the point. Congress is the problem and the solution. Congress could write the Fed out of existence today and have the Treasury Department do all of the Fed's duties. We can just issue greenbacks straight from the Treasury Department. And you know what I mean? We can do that today, end the Fed with the stroke of a pen. But if our government still prefers inferior monetary policy, private credit to balance the economy over superior fiscal policy, deficit spending, then nothing would even change. Okay, so that's what you need to understand about this. Congress is the problem. Congress is the solution. If Congress balances the economy up front, targeting true full employment up front, deficit spending enough up front, with a federally guaranteed living wage job program for everyone who wants one, then guess what? Private banks, private credit, the Federal Reserve, they all become irrelevant because we're not the precarious class anymore. People wouldn't be dependent on private credit simply to survive in the first place. So, this is always on Congress. It's just a smokescreen, this whole conspiracy theory about the Federal Reserve to make people think that they're powerless so that they don't rise up and demand of their socially owned government. That's the whole thing. I mean, just think about it. It doesn't make sense at any level. Again, Congress can render the Fed and private credit irrelevant by balancing the economy up front with a federally guaranteed living wage job for everyone who wants one. All right. And Congress can end the Fed today and have Treasury do all of its duties. We can issue greenbacks straight from the Fed. I mean, straight from the Treasury. All right. But if our government still prefers inferior monetary policy, private credit to balance the economy over superior fiscal policy of Congress, deficit spending, then nothing would even change. All right. It's not the Fed that's the problem. It's Congress. Congress starves our economy of public spending. All right. Targeting 5% unemployment. And this forces us all into private credit. All right. If Congress isn't going to spend enough dollars into the economy, well, now we're all vulnerable to private credit. We need private credit simply to consume production and survive. You can't blame the banks for that. That's Congress. They're starving us of public spending. They're starving us of deficit spending to force us instead into private credit. And that's what neoliberalism is all about. It's about privatizing the public space and deregulating everything. Okay, so look at this stuff, look at the operational reality so that you don't fall victim to these illogical lies and scare tactics that were specifically designed to keep us divided and fighting against our own interests. Thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy.